Once upon a time, there was a farmer and his wife. And the farmer, well, he wished he had a farmer friend. One to exchange, well, ideas about potato seed or what was the best farming implement tool to buy. And his wife, she was a good farmer's wife, but she wished she had a friend. The kind of friend that you could discuss inexpensive decorating techniques or exchange recipes with. Well, every day the farmer would go out into his fields. He would dig up one potato. He'd put it in his pocket. He would take it to his wife, and his wife knew her way around a potato. Sometimes she would bake it with sour cream and butter. Sometimes she would roast it with rosemary and butter. Sometimes she would smash it. Sometimes she would make French fries and potato chips. Sometimes she would make fancy potato soup called vichyssoise. There was scalloped potatoes and funeral potatoes and, well, any kind of potato, she knew how to make it. And every day the farmer and his wife, they would sit down on their one chair because they only had one chair next to their table. And luckily they were thin farmers. And they would sit down and they would eat their one potato. And they were happy. But one year, there was a potato famine. And when the farmer went to dig, all of the potatoes were shriveled and rotten in the ground. And he dug and he dug until he found one measly little potato. He said, that is not enough for a baby, let alone a man and his wife. So I'm getting another potato. So he dug and he dug and he dug. And the next time he put his shovel on the ground, it went clank. Well, farming ground doesn't go clank when you dig it up. So he thought, what could it be? He dug, and it was this great, big, round black pot. He said, oh, my wife doesn't have a pot like that. So he picked it up, and he waddled his way to his cottage. He went inside, and he set it down. His wife said, oh, that is a big pot. I don't have one like that. And she leaned over, and her one and only bobby pin that was holding her thin bangs slipped out and went plink into the pot. The woman bent down and she picked up her bobby pin, and there were two. Husband, you know I only have one bobby pin to my name, and look, there's two. She dropped the bobby pins plink, plink into the pot, and out came four. She dropped 4 bobby pins in, blink, 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 and out came 8. 8 became 16. She said, husband, I could do a proper updo. He said, you would look good in a proper updo, my girl. And well, then the husband said, let's try it on the potato. So they took that measly little potato, more like a marble, and dropped it in, thunk, and out came 2. Thunk, thunk, out came 4, 4, thunk, 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 out came 8. And well, they were farmers and they knew how to work. And so they got busy throwing in the potatoes as fast as they could. And that night, his wife made every kind of potato recipe she had in her repertoire. Their bellies were full to the gills with potatoes. And as they sat on their one chair, the husband said, wife, we only have one chair between us. Let's see. So they took the chair and they went and they, but it didn't work because the chair wouldn't go all the way into the pot. Well, that night they slept, and in the wee hours of the morning when the sun is, well, starting to think about rising, the husband sat up. He said, wife, wake up, wake up, wake up. Do you remember that year that we had the bumper potato crop? And we got one extra piece of gold, and I told you to hide it and save it for a day that we had no potatoes to eat? Did you spend it? And the wife said, no, I completely forgot about that piece of gold. Did you spend it, husband? No. So they went to their mattress and they undid the lacings and they searched through the ticking and they found that piece of gold. And they took that coin and they dropped it plink, into the pot, and out came 2. Plink, plink, out came 4. Plink, 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 out came 8. Well, and they were farmers and they got busy. They were throwing in the gold as fast as they could. And when the sun finally arose, the husband grabbed a few pieces of gold. He said, I haven't had a new shovel in 20 years, and I am getting one today. And he was gone. Well, the wife, she was busy throwing in that gold, plink, 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 as fast as she could. And she was so focused in that 45 minutes later, when her husband banged through the door and she went whoop into the pot, she didn't even hear it coming. But the husband looked at the pot. It wasn't good, because there was 1, 2, 3, 4 feet sticking out of the pot. And the husband, he helped his beautiful wife out of the pot. And the husband, he helped his beautiful wife out of the pot. And the husband just looked at his wife and looked at his wife and he looked at his wife and he did not know what to do. And at the exact same moment, both of his wives put their hands on their hips and they said, you know what you've got to do, man, don't you? What? Put you back in the pot. Oh, 2 wives isn't enough? No, silly man, you must get in the pot. And the man looked at the pot, he said, I'm not gonna fit. And the wife said, oh, we'll make you fit. So the man, he stepped into the pot and he thought thin thoughts, because that's all you can do in that kind of a moment. And he bent down and he kind of bent around, but he wasn't going to fit. But then his wives got on it. And she started pushing and they started pushing each other. And, all of a sudden it got really tight in the pot. In fact, it got so tight that the pot broke into 2 pieces. But now, there was a husband for a wife, and a wife for the husband. And they lived happily ever after, because the husband now had a farmer friend, one to discuss potato seed, and the best farming implement tools. And his wife now had a very best friend, someone to discuss inexpensive decorating techniques. But when it came to exchanging recipes, well, they were exactly alike.